All right, what's just looking over this article real quick, and Robbie Lawler versus Condit too. Should it happen next? And I thought maybe it was talks of an instant rematch for Condit since Robbie Lawler beat him by a split decision and was such a uh, razor close fight. So, but I was reading the article and I noticed that the guy gave his three reasons for when there should be an instant rematch. I don't know that I agree with it all. I also didn't know that Dana White scored the fight for Carlos Condit to win. I think I had Robbie Lawler, but I remember it being a really close fight. But these are the three reasons he says like when you should give a rematch, which I agree with most of them, but I'll add to it. He says when the challenger wins um, a type of fight like the UFC 195 event, a draw, and when a fighter who's been a long time reign loses the strap, like Ronda Rousey, Jose Aldo, and Anderson Silva should be one of them, but he didn't list it. And I agree with those, but the welterweight division is interesting right now because Robbie Lawler has been having these knockout barn brawls with everybody's fault. Him and Carlos Condit had a really, really close fight. The only other person in line right now is Tyrone Woodley, and Tyrone Woodley has kind of had a bad streak of luck as far as trying to make his way to the belt. A lot of people have accused him of being a really boring wrestler. Which he's a wrestler. Of course, he's going to play to his advantages. In the Carlos Condit fight, Carlos Condit got injured, so that kind of messed him over as far as like trying to get a title shot. And then he's supposed to fight Johnny Hendricks, which I think would have been a good matchup for him. And Johnny Hendricks has to pull out due to weight cutting issues, which doesn't surprise me one bit. If you saw Johnny Hendricks when he won the belt, Johnny Hendricks had gotten really, really fat. Johnny Hendricks was getting up to like 200 pounds in between fights, which, when you're 20 something years old, you can get away with that. But when you start getting into your 30s, you can't do that whole I'm going to gain 100 pounds in all season, and then I'll lose it when I start training. So that kind of ruined it for Tyron Woodley. So, of course, the fans are going to say, well, yeah, give me an instant rematch because Tyron Woodley, they hadn't seen him fight for a long time. The last time they saw him fight, he kind of won by a guy, hurting his own knee. So, of course, people are going to want to see a rematch. But now here is the problem, and the article kind of talks about this too. He talks about the people that are waiting in line to get a title shot, which is true. You do see a lot of times where it's a lot of people, waiting in line for title shots, and they have to keep waiting because people are fighting and getting instant rematches, and then it makes everything all the more longer. But a lot of times it's some divisions where that's okay because there's not a whole lot of people waiting in line, and there's some divisions where that's not the case. There's 100 people waiting in line. The welterweight division right now, I don't feel like anybody's really in line for a title shot. Woodley's the number one contender, but I think most fans probably still feel like, including myself, like he kind of still needs to prove that he belongs in that number one contender spot. And it's not his fault. He's just had a bad, he's just had bad stroke of luck. The guy, Carlos Condit got hurt, and then Johnny Hendricks pulled out. I mean, he can't help that. So it's not like the welterweight division right now is lined up with potential, you know, title holders. It really is just Tyron Woodley, and you're looking at him kind of suspect. Now, there are some divisions out there where you feel like, oh, there's a lot of people lined up for a title shot. But that's not the case in the welterweight division. The middleweight division, I feel like, has got a good mix-up right now of guys who are scratching at getting back to that belt. Wyman's still in there because he just lost it. Jacare is coming up through the ranks. Whoever, Romero would have been coming up. He hadn't failed a drug test. But you got a few guys that you're looking at, you going, I can see that guy being a potential, title holder. The light heavyweight division has some pretty good top people and people that are coming back up after that belt. Rumble Johnson is still right there. And Rumble Johnson hurt Daniel Cormier in the first round, so he could definitely be coming back. And Bader, he's won like 6 fights in a row. I don't see Bader as championship material, but he's won 6 fights in a row. That's definitely more than, especially in light heavyweight division, that's more than enough to justify a title shot. So he's right there. But yeah, now let's move on to like the heavyweight division. The heavyweight division is like doesn't. I feel like that's one of those divisions doesn't have a ton of people waiting in line. And it's got a few people that you look at and you're going like, I see some potential there. but it's not a ton of people. Like I don't feel like anybody's getting screwed over by Weidman, not Weidman, Fabricio Verdum giving Cain Velasquez a title shot because it the heavyweight division is still kind of figuring itself out. So it's got time to you starting to figure out who's going to be the next person to get in line. So it some weight divisions I feel like have people waiting in line and they kind of getting screwed over by it, but some weight divisions, not so much. I know Frankie Edgar probably feels like he's getting screwed over because he was supposed to fight the winner of Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo, and now Conor McGregor is fighting for the lightweight belt, and for Frankie Edgar. Then that's going to be interesting to see what Frankie Edgar decides to do. Do you wait and stand by? Because he could be waiting a long time. Although the UFC 196 is coming up, I forget which one it is Conor McGregor's fighting in, but it's coming up soon. But, he could fight that fight and he could get hurt, and then, where does that leave you? He fights, he gets hurt, and then all of a sudden he's out for another 6 months. Where does that leave you? Waiting on him. Let's see when UFC 197 press conference. So yeah, he should be coming up soon. I don't know exactly when UFC 197 is scheduled for, but he should be coming up soon. So I don't think Frank can have to wait too long, but he's gonna be waiting. It darn sure ain't tomorrow. Let's see. And it looks like it is March. Well, yeah, he ain't fighting until March 5th. And then if he got hurt or get a concussion or something like that, and he's out for another 6 months, and he'll be waiting another 6 months after that. So do you stand by and wait for your title shot, or do you pick up an extra fight? But yeah, getting back to on point, I think it's a bad move. I don't agree. Not a bad move. I don't agree completely with the article with what the guy's saying. I understand the point he's making, but I feel like some divisions are figuring themselves out, and we're kind of figuring out who's going to be the number one contender. And if you don't have 2 or 3 guys lined up, and I guess what the reason I agree with it in Robbie Lawler's case is because he's cleared out most of the division. If you look at the last amount of people he's fought, let's see. He's fought almost everybody in the top 10, except for Tyrone Woodley, but he's already fought Roy McDonald twice. He's already fought Johnny Hendricks twice. He's already fought Jake Ellenberg, Matt Brown, Johnny Hendricks, and Carlos Condit. I guess you could look at the top 10 right now for welterweight division and see who all is ranked in the top 10 right now. Okay, these guys definitely. Is this really who's ranked at the top 10? Thiago Alves? No, this just must be the welterweight division. I'm like, no, them guys can't have nothing against those guys, but I'm like, I don't know if that's the. I don't think that's the top guys in the welterweight division. Now this looks right. So he's already fought Roy McDonald, so you can cross him off. He's already fought Johnny Hendricks. He's already fought him twice. He's already fought Johnny Hendricks twice. Tyrone Woodley's the only person he hasn't fought. He just beat Carlos Condit. Damian Maia hasn't did enough to get a title shot yet. Matt Brown hasn't did. Like, everybody from here down hasn't done enough yet to get a title shot. Like, they're in the mix, and if they put together a few good wins, they could get a title shot. But he's already fought Matt Brown. So he's already fought 5 of these guys. And the rest of these guys haven't done enough to earn a title shot. So when you look at something like that and you go, okay, well, is an instant rematch against him and Carlos Condit so bad? You go, well, no. He's cleared out most of the division. There's nobody else standing. Tyrone Woodley's the one and only standing in line. But he hasn't done anything to really catch everyone's attention. So you kind of go, well, maybe he does. So in my opinion, an instant rematch, I would be up for an instant rematch between the two. It'd be an exciting fight. It'd be a good fight for the fans. But if you go by who really deserves it, Tyrone Woodley deserves a title shot. The circumstances due to him, me not paying no attention to him, isn't his fault. It's been just a bad stroke of luck. So that's my thoughts on it. I hope the to see a rematch between the two. Because to be honest, I want to see that fight more than I want to see the Tyron Woodley fight. But Tyron Woodley does deserve. It's not like he's been ducking people and dodging people. He's just hadn't had a good run because he's had bad luck. So it is what it is. So until next time.